When you're whistling past the graveyard, graveyard whistle band.
Paul Metsa and Cats Under the Stars celebrate 40 years of music making. Plein Air Painters and the Duluth Art Institute launch Paint du Nord.
Watching someone paint is just mesmerizing.
Ragtime.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some costumes. Let's have some music.
And public television pioneer Max Morath. These stories and more music coming up this time on The Playlist.
Funding for The Playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Without further ado, please welcome Paul Metsa and
Cats Under the Stars
to the playlist.
My train, you don't have to drive my train. Tell your switchblade monkey, you don't have to ride your bed. Tell your happen waitress it's a high-wire show. You drop a lover just like domino. Your barbed wire blanket is ready to go, just like a robot. Just like a robot on death row. Should doctrine a doctor put the bell on you? Airmen and helicopters, you said they fell on you. Your mechanical street queen, you can feel his whistle blow. No difference, mama plugged in Romeo. You sit in the corner, dark as a wild in Mexico, just like a robot on death row. Just like a robot on death row. Play that harp, buddy. outside. Looked in the eight-ball, saw close to a suicide. Your guardian angel packed the bags of the road, just like a robot on death row. 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 Paul Metsa.
36 artists are participating. We have about 20 here on the grounds at Glensheen right now, and they're finding their spots. It's a perfect place for plein air painters to paint because they have the gorgeous building, they have the beautiful grounds, of course there's the fabulous lake. So just finding the right spot is a big part of plein air painting.
My name's Dan Monlock. I'm a landscape painter and watercolor. Warren and I were just walking around the grounds and saw this scene, and I really liked the way the light was just coming across the building. It created a nice light and shade pattern, so that's what caught my eye. I like the way this creek kind of leads your eye through and then comes up to the house, and there's kind of a nice cycle. I'll get some trees that will finish that path for your eye to move around the scenes. It's all working. I don't know, I really like it.
Watching someone paint is just mesmerizing. It's a slow process, but it's really fascinating because it is that hand involved. I mean, so often we see things that are mitigated through a computer screen. So watching someone with a paintbrush in their hand and a canvas that's coming to life, there's something just incredibly engaging and attractive about that.
It's good for kids to come out and families to come out and see that, hey, this is something you can do, and it isn't something that you have to quit doing when you're in 4th grade, you know. As a city, it's premiered with all the ravines and waterfalls right inside the city. It's unbelievable. I had no idea. You never really know a place until you really spend time immersed in it.
So they came on a Sunday and they have until Friday to paint 5 masterpieces.
Oh, the competition's really, really, really tough. So I'm just here to have fun and to see all the paintings and to hang out with painters. I get to meet some people from around the country that I wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for this event.
I'm loving Duluth. It's just amazing when I'm learning more and more about the history and what's going on here, your economy. It fascinates me. You live in a really wonderful place. I'm enjoying visiting here and painting it.
That's the Maple Leaf Rag, written by Scott Joplin.
He shaped the early days of public television and leveraged his passion for ragtime and entertaining into an amazing career. Welcome to the playlist, Max.
Thank you, Karen.
Really great to have you here.
Why, my pleasure.
So tell me about your early days and music. How did ragtime music grab you?
Well, I learned to play ragtime from my mother. She was from Iowa, and she moved to Colorado when she was 19 years old and was playing silent movie music in the Princess Theater in Colorado Springs. And when she went to Colorado, she took along a piano bench full of ragtime piano sheets. Well, she was good. She was a school pianist. She always said my mother, who became a journalist, not only knew how to spell, but she had a great left hand. I'd hear her playing, and I had to learn what she was doing, and one of them was Scott Joplin's Maple Leaf Rag, which is one of the most difficult rags. So I learned to play it when I was, 10, 12 years old. And then I went on into jazz and popular music and this and that, and went to college and so forth. But meanwhile, that kind of intoxication that comes with the syncopations of ragtime was embedded in me. And I was able to turn it into a gig.
When you talk about ragtime, you're not talking about just a specific rhythm. You're talking about a whole kind of set of things.
Yes, I think ragtime, like a lot of the other words we use to describe popular music, lost its musical meaning, those early sheet music things, and became a generic thing, a meme, as they say today. It defined an era. It defined the period from 1920, or from 1900 to 1920, and for instance, in the work of E.L. Doctorow, writing a novel called Ragtime to describe an era. And that kind of became part of my point of view.
So you parlayed that a little bit into a PBS, before PBS, NET, whole production. How many episodes on the ragtime era?
Well, the ragtime era was a 12-program, half-hour programs that aired in fall of 1960.
Ragtime. The word still has an excitement about it, doesn't it? A charm. Makes you think not just of a kind of music, but maybe of a time, too.
And we put together a series right at the time when educational television, based in those days in Ann Arbor, said, please bring some entertainment content. Let's get away from lectures and one camera. Let's have some fun. Let's have some costumes. Let's have some music. And we happened to hit with that idea at that time.
So your combination of a little humor, a little history, a little knowledge, launched a whole series and a whole career beyond that.
Well, and of course I was able to take the basic texture of that, sing, play, talk, into concert work, and working starting with nightclubs and then getting into the concert field. And the business was very good to me for many, many years.
So what is there to learn from a career spent entertaining?
Well, I'll tell you one thing you learn. I'm a white kid from Colorado who lucked into an interesting line of work, and I wouldn't be there with that music without a lot of forgotten African Americans who had it very tough and who gave us a lot of music that is finally being revealed, certainly with the discovery of Scott Joplin 40 years ago. He was unknown for all those years. He was the man. I had the privilege of working with U.B. Blake, who was one of the great pianists and composers, and he lived to be 100 years old. And I had the honor of being the MC at his 100th birthday party at the Schubert Theater in New York, 1983. So I owe a debt more than I can articulate.
Max Morath, thanks for coming to the playlist.
Thank you, Karen.
But anyway, the song wrote for my grandpa called Black Cadillac. Call me long distance from a home. Black cloud over Roosevelt pulling 7-ton roll. Hercules handshake, Chesterfields as they linger. You could bet on the love like rings round his finger. Copacabana, we danced in the street. Where we played Woody Guthrie to the chief of police. All stripper street cry drowns out the singer. You could bet on the love like rings round his fingers. And you go where the angels go, on the back of a buffalo. Electric rings you fly with the birds of paradise. Birds of paradise. Cadillac will tab out on Sunday. Old hymns for the astronauts, lights right down on the runway. Old stripper street cry, red and dark for you. When I close my eyes tonight, she Roosevelt blue. Gone on the night train, on the tone on the rail. Where the cowboys can't find you, tumbleweeds right down on your trail. Sweetheart's gonna mess you, and you're longer than most. You bet on the love, give up the ghost. You gotta give up the ghost, give up the ghost. Go on the back of a buffalo, like the wings you fly with the birds of paradise. Birds of paradise, birds of paradise, birds of paradise, birds of paradise, birds of paradise. Birds of paradise, birds of paradise, birds of paradise, birds of paradise, birds of paradise.
Black Cadillac, Paul Metsa.
Thank you.
We are backstage with Paul Metsa as the band tunes up downstairs. Thank you for joining us, Paul.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be in Duluth. It's one of my favorite cities in America. My mother and father met here, so I feel very close to the city.
So the show that we're going to watch tonight is your original band, Cats Under the Stars, or one of the original bands.
Yes, it was probably the one of my bands that really had the most acclaim. I had a handful of bands before it, but we started playing as Hot Walleye in about 1973. Three of us, we had a banjo player named Skip Nelmark, and then we did our first gig as Cats Under the Stars under that name, August 17th, 1975, at Alcott Park in Virginia, where we just played a few weeks ago.
So what's it like to play with musicians you've known for 40 years?
Well, it's really like getting back into a pair of really comfortable shoes that have aged. You know? But we've always had this really rhythmic connection with one another. And Tim O'Keefe, the harmonica player, the guy that I started playing with, is Metsa and O'Keefe, the only Finnish Irish blues duo on the coffee house circuit in the mid-'70s. He's really the virtuoso in the band. And then Jack Pasternak, the guitar player, he and I have known each other since 5th grade. So it goes beyond trust, really, at this point. We just feel it. And like Bob Marley says, he who feels it knows it.
Having this kind of experience, would you do it all again? Or what did you,
Oh, yeah.
what did you learn from 40 years of performing that you bring back to this group tonight?
Well, it's, you know, it's like life. You know, you can go back and go, would I have done certain things differently? Yeah, absolutely, you know. But what's really fun for me with Cats Under the Stars is that, you know, these are some of my longest musical relationships I've ever had with anybody. We played for 10 years, we took about 10 or 15 years off, and we started playing together in the early aughts, you know, 2001, 2002, once or twice a year. So to get back together, everybody has gotten better. So really the band was a pretty damn good band in its time. But, you know, truthfully, on these last few gigs we've been playing, I think we sound as good as we've ever sounded. And that's what's really exciting.
Do you think you'll continue to do these reunions, or is this a
Oh,
special
yeah, no,
40th?
we're marking it because it is the 40th year. And there's very few bands, you know, that have been together for 40 years, all original members that are all still playing fairly well and in fairly good health. You could talk to my doctor more about that. But no, we plan on doing this, you know, until the final curtain, as they say. So there's no reason why we couldn't do this for another 20 years.
Last question is advice for anyone else coming up behind you. What if you're a 20-year-old thinking, is there really a life for me in music?
It's really gotten harder. When we grew up, we were blessed. We used to do 150, 200 nights a year just in the Twin Cities, primarily Minneapolis, not even St. Paul. St. Paul was always a disaster for us for some reason. But we were able to make a living. Of course, this was 30-some years ago, and rent was cheaper, food was cheaper, gas was cheaper. But really, I would tell any musician to listen to as much music as possible, stay with it. It wouldn't hurt to pick up, you know, some sort of a day job that you can live with, and then envelop yourself into the music scene, turn it into a career when the light turns green.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'm
Can't wait
honored
for the
to be
show
a part
tonight.
of it.
Oh, thanks, Karen.
Do not play matches, baby. Matches will start fires. Keep your feet above the flames when you are walking on the wire. Life is short, but time is sweet. Keep your train on the track. When you're whistling past the graveyard and the graveyard whistles back. Ooh, ooh, forget your mother. She brought you in this world. You are the dream that she once had since mama was just a little girl. Send her cards and flowers, and don't step on the cracks when you're whistling past the graveyard and the graveyard whistles back. This world don't owe you nothing. It don't even know your name. You might be a king or queen, but the end's gonna treat you just the same. Drop your crunk before you leave, but don't cover up your tracks when you're whistling past the graveyard. Graveyard whistle back.